Well, hello everyone and welcome to my channel again. It seems like the piro flips video was very popular, and I thought, what else would it benefit for people to know, I guess, tips about learning piro flips. So today, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm using a different simulator. I'm using AccuRC. Today I'll be using AccuRC, neXt, and Heli-X, all three simulators that I have, to show you this little trick of how to change the configuration of the tail so that it slows down so that you can actually peg the rudder. So the idea here is to be able to to practice the piro flip while making sure that your rudder stick is all the way to either the left or to the right, whichever way you're practicing your piro flip. So that way it'll be actually easier to control because you don't have to worry about, changing the speed of the rudder. Your rudder speed will be constant, which will be helpful. And also you won't be focusing on, on switching the speed of the rudder. Okay? So you will just have to focus on the motion of the piro flip itself. So you just have to actually make sure that your helicopter is spinning, and when it spins where you want it to, you'll make your piro flip movement. So that's the idea. So in here, for example, let's land so that we can change the configuration. Okay, so in here, what you need to do, as soon as you move your mouse, the menu will appear. Then you can go here to tail, and basically just change this value. So let's say, for example, I change this whole radal agility to 450. It was 350. Okay, so let's change it just as a test so that you can see what happens. The opposite way. So in here, I actually increase the speed of my tail. So as you can see, now the tail is crazy fast. And of course, it will be more difficult to do a piro flip this way. Okay? But instead, if you change it the other way around, let's say it was 350, let's say we move it down to 250. Okay? Now the tail, if I go all the way on the rudder, is super slow. That'll allow me to view exactly where the tail is and learn the motion. Okay? As you progress, well, this works for me. I know that it doesn't work for everyone. I know that some people think that it's better to learn with your tail rate high, so that you have that muscle memory of that motion at that speed. But for me, to be honest, it works to be doing it at a different speed each time. So in here, the motion is very easy. Okay, you need to basically make sure that you're following the tail of your helicopter as it's going through the motion when you're steering the stick. Okay, so that's my tip. But now let's do the same, because people have different simulators. So let's do the same on different simulators. So in here it was with AccuRC. Okay, so now let's change to neXt. As you can see, I'm using OBS Studio to do my recordings, if anyone was curious. So in here, I just updated neXt right before I started recording, and it seems like maybe they changed the version and I need to pay for it again because my registration doesn't work, but it should work for the sake of the demo. I haven't used neXt in a long time. So in here it's the same thing, you know. you have your piro rate. So let's try to change it. Seems like even though I crashed, I didn't crash. I think I changed that setting to make sure that that the heli was more resilient. No, it actually crashed now. Okay, that's weird. Well, in here, you have to click on the right, your right mouse click, and it'll bring up the menu. And in here, you have to go. There's several different tabs here. You have to go to Model Setup, and in here you change your rudder dual rate. So in here again, if you increase it, you will get a crazy fast tail, and if you decrease it, you will get a lower tail. So in here I had it to 30. So it seems like at one point I had already made that change to, because maybe the stock one was too high. So let's make it a little bit less. Let's make it 20. Okay. And in here, you don't need to click the apply button. In here, change the value and it gets applied. So now the tail is again super slow. But now I don't know, feels like I have a lot of expo on my cyclic, or actually not enough. Yeah, no, I don't have enough expo on my cyclic. This feels weird. But okay, the idea for the demonstration was to show you how to change the, of course, because the cyclic is so weird. I don't know, something's wrong. But anyways, that's how you change it if you want to change it on next. I'm gonna reset my timer. Then I'm gonna go to Heli-X. On Heli-X, well, just so that you know what I personally do, I like to zoom in all the way to make sure that I can see the helicopter properly. And then we can do the same thing. In here, it's the left mouse click, and then you go to configuration flight mode. And on flight mode, you have to select, whatever flight mode you like to fly at. I like to fly up at idle up 3, which is the third position of the flight mode on my Spectrum radio that I'm using. This would be in normal mode. This would be idle up 1 and idle up 2. But in here it's idle up 3 because they're all idle ups, right? So this is the idea is just to change the flight mode that you're using on your radio as you're practicing. So in here the same thing. We have rudder and we have dual rate. Right now it's at 60%, so let's bring it down to, let's say, 40%. Okay, and save. Now the tail is nice and slow, and I can see the movement, and I can just keep my rudder stick all the way to the left, to the right. I'm sorry. And well, in this case, if you're practicing the other way around, maybe taking it to the left, but in my case, it's to the right. And this way, you can practice your piro motion, and kind of understand it. I know that a lot of people say that they don't really understand the piro flip, how the flip works and how the steer works. So basically, it's just steering the stick in a motion. And I know I didn't put on the sticks, and because of the zoom, I've seen that they don't actually appear when I turn them on. But basically, you're steering the stick. And I don't know, I probably should use AccuRC for this. I'm gonna go to AccuRC, see if I can demonstrate this. Because I know that neXt had those issues with the license. So I'm just gonna go to AccuRC to try to test this out. Now, if some observers saw that it's AccuRC 3.0, it's because on what was the latest version before development was abandoned on this sim. AccuRC 3 was supposed to be the next version, but it never finished development, and then they lost developers. So, anyways, Visual TX. Okay. So now, how do I turn it on? I don't remember how to. Oh, HUD. No, that's not it. I don't remember. Oh, there you go. There you go. Of course, now it's not responding to my. Oh, there you go. Just a little bit. No, something happened. I think I lost the. I'm gonna turn off my radio and turn it back on. I don't know what happened. Let's see. Okay. So, well, it seems, well, AccuRC 3.0 has some bugs, and I think that there's an issue with the mapping. I don't know if I can fix it from the settings or not, but as you can see, my collective appears to be all the way up. That's not real because that is mapped to throttle, so that's why it's all the way up. But at least you'll be able to see the rudder. So as you can see, I'm pegging the rudder all the way, right? In this case, to the right. You know, forget the fact that, you know, the collective is all the way up. And then you can just look at the right stick to see my motion. So I'm doing, you know, a circle, which we call stare, to try to and I need to make sure that I have the disk level first. Okay, so then there's another one, and I'm kind of, I don't know if you can see, it's hard to see, you know, both the heli and the sticks at the same time, but I'm trying to follow with my stick the movement of the motion. So the idea is to match the speed. Whoops, is to match the speed of the movement with your stick. Okay, that's kind of the idea. Of course, I have to do it. I have to find the right moment where to actually start the motion. Because if you start the motion at a certain point of the tail position through the rotation, it's actually better because then you can follow along the movement. So, for example, as you can see, as I'm rotating, when I see that the tail is parallel to the left, well, it's pointing left, then that's where I start my movement. And similarly, when the tail is pointing to the other side, that's when I try to start my movement. Of course, I need to perfect that. And at this point, I think the tail is too slow for me for the muscle movement that I have. So I actually need the tail a little bit faster. Because that's where my muscle memory is at. Maybe that's too fast, but let's see. I think that may be a little bit too fast. Let's see, maybe that's... I think that's the right rate. Yeah, I think that's the rate where right now my muscle memory is at. Then of course, if I want it faster, then I need to basically retrain the speed that I'm gonna be doing my steer to keep up with the same speed of the helicopter. Okay, so basically I think that was it for today. If you made it this far, thank you very much. Whoops. All right, thank you very much if you've made it this far, and hope it was helpful, and I'll see you next time.